about some advice that I was given early on as a fitness instructor. And what it was that, Greg, you are too friendly, you are too nice, there are sharks everywhere, everywhere, and they're going to eat you alive. And I'm a bit of a defiant spirit. That's the ADHD coming out again, right? And so I wanted to get in there and kind of, right? Thank you. ADHD represent. So I always kind of rejected this idea, but I felt like I was somewhat forced into it, you know? And so it got me thinking about that conversation I had with that tour guide. What is a shark? And a shark is the pinnacle of evolution in the ocean. It is a beautiful, beautiful animal. It is fast and it is strong and it is aggressive. It has instinct and it has succeeded for so long. This ancient beast has climbed its way to the apex of its ecosystem. And that's a sexy thought, isn't it? Wow, like, geez, like this thing can do anything. But when you compare that to what a shark does and what a fisherman does, then you get into something that's kind of interesting. And so we put a lot of credit and a lot of stock into aggression and into assertiveness and things like that. And you know, I watch TV. I've seen, you know, Suits, The Apprentice. You know what I'm talking about, right? And what I realized is that there is a worship, a deeper appreciation for this aggressiveness. And then I started thinking, okay, the fitness industry is going to do this to me. I got to be this guy. I'm going to do these things. I'm going to attend events. I'm going to study relentlessly psychology, and I'm going to study relentlessly neurology, and I'm going to get into what my competition does and understand and follow their posts and see how many likes and comments they get and how many likes and comments I get. And then am I doing well? How many people am I comparing myself to? And even just telling you this right now is stressful. And it's too much work. And so then it kind of came back to, you know, what is it to be the fisherman? Like, I'm sitting beside this ocean terrace and I'm starting to calm down. And I'm starting to feel good. And I'm starting to think, wow, you know who the business people in this country aren't stressed out and they're not checking their phones for their likes and their comments. So what's the difference here between a fisherman and a shark? And so over time, my mind kept going back to that beautiful, they call it Bajan, like Cajun, but Bajan for Barbadian. And the sustainability and the mood and the vibe and what everyone was doing was so on point that it made me miss it before it was gone, and made me lament and made me feel bad about what was going on back home. So the only thing I could really do is bring it home with me. So, despite the words to the contrary that exist out there, we know that it's really actually harder to be a fisherman. The fisherman doesn't bear a smile at the end of their workday. They're working. Maybe once they're relaxed, or maybe once they're not working anymore. But while they're working, it's all about the catch. But it's not about getting the catch first. It's not the feeding frenzy that sharks get themselves into. It's casting nets into the water together. It's sharing information and resource about where the best place to fish is. So all fishermen do well. And when all fishermen do well, the whole community does well. And you can see this in the actions and the feelings of what the people are presenting when they're not even showing it off to you. They're just sitting around and enjoying their life. So, excuse me, there's this memory thing I'm dealing with. You're going to have to bear with me. So, sharks are essential to our ecosystem, okay? I'm not here to tell you that it's wrong to go out there and be assertive. I'm not here to tell you it's wrong to go out and be aggressive. Sharks are taking care of the weakest and the sick out there. They're not out there looking for the strongest. They're not even out there looking for humans. They're not looking for you. You're not a shark. If you try to climb into the shark's ecosystem, you'll fail. But if you stay apart from it and think differently and do something differently, like get into your boat, grab your harpoon, grab your nets, grab your lines, you can catch much more fish than just the shark. This epiphany has been very, very relieving for me, extremely relieving. And if you're a person who's feeling that you've been pushed into the shark tank, I really ask that you listen to this next part. I let go of my fear of failure. I let it go. And set myself to the task of putting direct effort into my business, including information sharing and resource sharing. This is a big step to take in fitness, Jen, you know it is. Because what happens is you're literally giving clients to your competition. Not every client is your client. Even if they approach you, they might not be the right client for your business. You might not be the right trainer for that client. It's up to you to have the responsibility to feed your community and feed your village. And tell the fisherman next to you, man, I know exactly what you're there to catch, and I know the bait to use to catch it, and if you just go there, you're gonna do well. The payback there is that the community comes back to support you. They start telling you where to catch the fish that you like to catch are, and they're gonna help you. I felt exhausted from the constant movement that being a predator requires. If you're out there and you're an entrepreneur, and you're feeling this concept I'm telling you about right now, it's really important that you decide whether or not you want to be a shark or a fisherman. This is a little bit polarized, I'm going to admit that, right? But within the community of fishermen, you're going to have more opportunity. So, I don't want to disturb the ecosystem of a shark. I don't want to compete with sharks for resource or money. I don't really care what the blood in the water is on any given day. I want to catch as much as I can in my boat, hold as much of my catch as I can, and then share my bounty with the rest of my community. There's no reason for me to hold on to more than what I can handle. My boat might be small, but I might be making a huge contribution to the community that I exist in. It's not necessary to compete with large corporate giants. It's not necessary to compete with somebody who's doing better than you. It's just important that you use your skill set to its ultimate in order to be yourself, really. Ultimately, what this all comes down to is your personal ability to pull this off. You do not need to rely on somebody else's personal ability to complete a task. So, what this has yielded for me has been truly, truly life-changing. Beyond opportunities such as this at MoMondays, provided by the ever-talented, ever-gracious Jen Garrett, it has allowed me to relax into my chosen roles. Rather than hyper-focusing on the success of others, I've been allowed to get over my preconceptions about people who have a lot of money, over people who have a lot of resource, over people who have worked their butts off to do well and it took them years. I don't see all that stuff that happened to them in the past. I only see what's happening now. It's not worth it for me to compare my challenges to their success. So, having a port I can come to sell my goods and talents, has served my mental, physical, and spiritual health so much. Which brings me here, to you, the people of MoMondays. This is my port. This is where I'm giving you my goods and my services, and where I can give it to you for the cost of a ticket, and all of these other speakers are coming to speak to you too. I'm so happy that we have this opportunity to give you such a valuable message in such a short period of time. I'm looking around and I know I have some anglers in the room. I've seen some smiles, I've seen some nods, I've seen some people whispering to each other out there, and I'm really happy to see there's other fishermen out here in the crowd. If you'd like to talk to me after the show, you can find me at the market. And fortunately, I'm standing right in the middle of one. But you're all sitting in the middle of a market. So, my name is Greg. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fisherman. I'm a motivator. Thank you very much. Thank you for your time. Enjoy the rest of the speakers. I hope I've given you an inspiring message tonight.